The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com
We were on the break!
with Ambar Garcia, Brian Broaddus, Voch Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Wednesday, January 14th, 2025, season 21, episode number 104. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break. We're live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. LG is the world's number one OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at lg.com/OLED Evo. Welcome to the show, everyone. We got a lot of things we're going to get into today. It is the off season, so it's a little less
It's gonna be weird.
hectic. It's going to be weird.
Just
I just want to
not having Brian on the
It's
show
so
anymore.
empty right here. Ugh.
Well, we gotta figure out. We gotta make some decisions here. I'm interested to see how this
We're
goes.
gonna hold a casting
on
call.
whether we stick with three or we start like rotating it around and try to find somebody, because you got to be a special person to sit in that seat. Like that's an interesting dynamic. I was
With
telling
that
somebody else
guy
that
over
before.
there.
Well, no,
Especially with this guy.
well, I told somebody this. I said, right now the chemistry between Amber and Voch, I think is like really good.
I disagree.
I know you do. That's why it's so good, right? That's exactly why it's so good.
There goes the lips covering and
Right.
moving around.
But so whoever sits in that seat has to help that. They have to contribute to that dynamic. And if they can't contribute to that dynamic, then what are they doing? What are we doing?
That's the problem, though, Derek. If it's only three of us, that means it's more work for me. You see what I'm saying?
How's that?
Well, because on Tuesdays, Brian will have a segment or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's next season, yeah. You got a little
so-
time. You can
yeah,
start working on it now.
Have some time. So if it's just us, all right, Voch, we need a segment to fill. And I don't work here, Derek. So we go.
Wait, but hold on. You told me, I think it was on this show a couple months ago. You don't even know what I'm about to say. You said to me, "Hey man, anytime you need me to take a segment, like I'm in. Just tell me you want me to take I can do it on the spot."
Yeah.
That's what you told me.
Yeah.
You know, when you first get a
You gotta
job,
be
you're
careful what you
ambitious.
be talking all the time.
Amber hang around black people. What
I know.
you be
Did you
talking?
see that?
What you be
You heard that, right?
talking, That's crazy. Listen, when you first work somewhere, you're a little overly ambitious. You know, you show up
just say
5 minutes early. You should be saying anything. I can work weekends. You say
He
anything.
shows up late.
Yeah,
the show
I'm
late.
a year in. This is my sophomore campaign. I'm
Now
figuring
you're
it
like,
out.
I don't
know-
know if I can do a segment.
Or a
I can
segment, you
I can
know?
do a minute. I can do a minute and a half.
I know my strengths. I'm a really good complimentary player.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Especially in this kind of set. I can host a show, but it'll have to be none of y'all here. Like it'll
Just by yourself.
Yeah, I'll be by myself and I'll host
With the chat.
But with the chat. But with
Yeah.
this right here, man, this is I'm a complimentary piece. I come in, I'm depth. Let me be depth, because I don't work here.
Okay.
Come on
That's
now.
interesting. That's an interesting way to put it.
There you go.
But I'll take care of the hosting part, so you don't have to worry about that. I'll make sure we got something to talk
You're the
about.
quarterback.
That's what I
That's
do.
CeeDee Lamb right there.
There we go. And who are you?
I'm TJ Bass.
Wow.
TJ Bass.
Wow.
I'll hop in when you
can't
need
even
me.
be Ryan Flournoy. You just
I practice real hard. You know
And
what
that's
I'm
it?
saying?
That's all
and
you
when
got?
it's time for me to play, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
but you ain't gonna do it every game.
I'll even play the other guard if you want me.
You won't do it every game though.
Not every
only
game.
only some games.
TJ
Some games you're like, I'm just gonna sit over here and just mind my
TJ Bass. And people think that I'm better than the starter.
So you're saying you're Brock Hoffman, getting a fight all the time.
I'm a little stronger than Brock.
That actually is a pretty good one.
That's a good
That's
one,
actually
right?
a pretty good one.
Like,
Fight all the time. Yeah.
yeah, he's kind
Well,
of
but-
revving people
Yeah,
up.
that's a better one.
But see, Bean, this the thing about Brock though. Like Brock start the fights and then he flop. I don't want to be known as like flopping guy.
He does.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be flopping guy. We'll figure out.
I don't know, man. You'll start a fight and be like, I didn't do that.
What?
I might be.
I'm
right.
telling you.
Fair.
I'm telling you.
He is painting the picture.
I don't think Brock gonna play here next year though, so that might be even more telling.
Ooh, is that what, are you trying to make an announcement?
We're
I think I'm gonna
breaking
get fired
news
before I
here.
retire here, dude. I just want to be clear.
You say you're gonna get fired?
I might get fired before I retire. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
we
Let's
never
not
know.
do that. Let's
Yeah,
not do
nah,
that.
I'm just
I don't like to do that.
I'm not
All
gonna get y'all fired, but go ahead.
All right, cool. Let's talk a little bit about the defensive coordinator. There's a lot happening around that, and quite frankly, I am very so far very happy with what's happening with regard to the defensive coordinator slot. I think that a move needed to be made, so I was happy with the fact that they were willing to make the move. They did it quickly, which I thought was necessary in order to get the thing going and give yourself every opportunity to interview a lot of candidates. And then just the sheer volume of candidates. They are looking everywhere and they're talking to everyone, which I think sometimes in the history of how they've hired coaches around here, that hasn't always been the case. They can get locked in on 2 or 3 candidates and even locked in on one candidate, interview 2 or 3, but really they're locked in on a guy, and it doesn't feel like right now that's what's happening. It feels like they are mixing it up and looking at a lot of different guys with a lot of different backgrounds to see who may be the best fit for this job. Talk to me about what you're seeing so far and your thoughts on it just from a general standpoint, and then we'll talk a little about some of the candidates.
Derek Eagleton, Chris Bean, Ambarito. I'm super casual when it comes to coaches in the NFL. You know what I mean? I don't know them people. I don't really know them until I run into them. I don't know them until like they're hired or something like that. But just a common trend that kind of helps me through this is that the less I know about a coach, typically the better they are. You feel what I'm saying? Like Clayton Adams, I didn't know who the hell he was. But he gets here, and I do my research, and I go, oh, well, Clayton Adams is this kind of guy. But I didn't hear of him, right? Back in the day, the Cowboys be like, oh, we brought in Marvin Lewis. Oh, I know Marvin Lewis. Mm-hmm. But that may not be the most ideal pick, right? Like, you know, these coaches with history, they may be older. They don't have fresh ideas like some of these younger coaches or whatnot. Oh, we're talking to Ron Rivera. Oh, Voch knows Ron Rivera, you know what I'm saying? But when they say, oh, we brought in Zach Orr, I don't know who Zach Orr is. From the Ravens, that can't be good. But you do your research, Zach Orr is highly respected. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Ephraim Band is highly respected. Jim Leonard is highly respected. Mm-hmm. You know, when you see these coaches and they make jobs for them, but they still the regular coach that they are, like Jim Leonard is the head coach assistant. Head coach or whatever,
assistant
right?
Head coach.
Assistant head coach. And I'm like, okay, well, you ain't even the defense coordinator, but you the assistant head coach. I think that's because they trying to keep him. Hey, we'll give you a raise in position just to keep you. So different guys like that, when you hear about these, I like the young rising up the ranks coaches that's fresh, that's young, they still got something to prove. They not, oh, I've been a head coach before, I've had success before. And that's typically the Joneses type. Like they like the guys that have had success. And I feel why they think that way, but I kind of like that they're talking to young coaches that got something to prove still. And you know, there's a lot of people confused about, well, why we're talking to so many coaches? Why don't we just hire, I don't even know if I can say people's name and just move on, right? I think it's important to just, even if it's, for example, they was talking to Coach Whitecotton, right? They may not even think about hiring Coach Whitecotton to be a head coach. But Aaron Whitecotton, this is practice for you explaining to us if you was coordinating the Cowboys last year, what would you have done different? You don't know what they'll ask up there. Hey Zach, or from a Baltimore Ravens guy perspective in your scheme, can you use Maris Leofau? Can you use some of these guys that are going to be here next year, that are going to be a part of our defense next year? So I love what they've been doing. They're not just talking to one guy. I'm sure they're talking to even more people. And shouts out to them for doing something different than what they normally do.
Yeah, right now I think it's been 6 candidates that they've interviewed so far, or I don't know if
6.
they finished all of the interviews with them already. But what gives me pause is, one, I love that we don't have someone selected just yet. I love that they are taking their time in making, the decision and interviewing as many people as they can, because I think that allows you to really find what you want based on what you don't want. The more you talk to other people, you see, okay, yeah, we don't want that. And then it leads you hopefully a lot closer to what you're looking for exactly. But at the same time, this is where I don't know who is the best answer, because when you look at some of these guys, it's no one on the list that's currently being put out as actual candidates that have interviewed. There's no one that necessarily is like, oh my God, that's the most amazing guy. He would be the perfect fit. No one that stands out in that way just yet. And going back to the conversation we've already had on the show before, Derek, with Eberflus, and when he was initially hired, that we were like, okay, he has experience. You know his resume. You know what he's done before. So it wasn't anything that you were against it. You were like, okay, let's do this. And you didn't expect the result that you saw this past season. So that's where it's just tricky because you don't really know exactly how people are going to pan out. And so far, the choices that they've made in recent years, as far as defensive coordinators, it just hasn't worked out. I mean, the best one was Dan Quinn, and even he started kind of fading towards the end of his career here with the Cowboys. But now with Brian Schottenheimer as the new head coach, maybe he brings a different perspective. But then again, I don't know because we also didn't really see changes during the season. And these were the same people and the same voices that were in that room as well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think there are some things that are standing out. When you start looking at the guys that they are interviewing, I do think that it appears to me they're looking at younger guys.
Yeah.
Zach Orr is only 33 years old. He is a younger man when you talk about coaching. You got Jeff Leonard's 43. I think Jeff Leonard, Ephraim Banda, Devontae Jones, all in their 40s. And so, I think Jonathan Gannon, although he was a head coach, I don't think he's an older head coach. I haven't looked up his number. I would guess he's in his 40s, maybe early 50s. You can look that up for me. But when you look at this, it seems like they're looking at younger coaches, as you said, guys that are less
43.
established. 43. So
Fast typing that.
yeah. So you are looking at much younger coaches. Here's one of the questions I would have for you guys. How much do you value experience? And I say that even from the standpoint of experience as an actual play caller on the defensive side of the ball, because there's only two guys on this list who are defensive play callers who have had experience doing that in the National Football League, Zach Orr and Jonathan Gannon. The other guys have had roles on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. They've been, passing game defensive coordinators. They've worked with position groups. They've even been coordinators in college. But none of the others have experience as an actual defensive coordinator in the National Football League. How much does that matter to you?
To me personally, I start to look at trends, and I look around the league, and there's a lot of coaches that step up into these play calling roles, and I don't know them. Like, hey, this dude is a first time but boy, they much better than some of the old dudes that are, and maybe it's because, I'm young and I'm willing to be malleable to what the head coach wants, right? If I'm an older coach, I'm stuck in my, good luck trying to get Wink Martindale to do something different because he's 70-some years old. But if you go, hey, man, look, we tried to do things a certain kind of way. Hey, let's do this. And maybe they're easier to work with. I don't really have a thought or opinion on that. But maybe the Joneses looked around and they saw some other teams going with coaches that haven't called plays before and say, hey, man, we just got to roll the dice on one of these guys. Like Clayton Adams hadn't called plays before, and it's working out, But
he's still not calling plays, to be honest.
He's still not. But even if they made that change, I trust Clayton Adams because if you can put the offense together or put the defense together, I'll trust you to call the plays, So, pardon me if I mess up the first name, but Durante Jones,
that's how I think it's
Ravens.
It's Devontae.
Devontae Jones, former Vikings.
You know what? I have to be. Let me check that again because the reason why I say that is because I was typing this in, and sometimes autocorrect will change things, and I write Devontae so much.
Durante.
Durante.
Brother Jones from the Vikings, right?
Brother Noomsay.
Facts. So Brian Flores calls the plays over there. But if you're responsible for constructing the defense that Brian Flores calls, if you watch Brian Flores call your defense long enough, I would assume that you can call some plays. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or some of these guys may have called plays in college, or they've called plays on different levels or something like that. So I just want better for my defense, and I don't think it's going to take much to do that.
See, I have a certain respect for guys that have done it for a really long time and have the experience. There's something to that. But the more I watch football, the more I realize that with the older generation, sometimes it's harder for them to fully adapt to the changes that are currently happening in the league. And as well with the dynamics with the players. Like sometimes you're not able to connect, and today's generation of players are not the same that were here like years ago, where and there's nothing wrong with this. I hope it doesn't come out wrong, but it's a different level of toughness. mental toughness, where you see like coaches years ago, oh, they would be at practice for hours and like it's changed and all of that. But I seen with different coaches here, certain guys, Dan Quinn was one of them. Gosh, what was the other guy that he would wear cleats and run around with the like?
Thinking about Al Harris?
No, he's one of them too, but it was someone before Dan Quinn that was on the defense.
Chris Richard.
Chris Richard, yes. Those type of guys that you see how they're able to create the relationships with the players. And why I make this point is, and I've mentioned this before, with Matt Eberflus, I saw it so many times. There was a lack of not communication, but
connectivity.
They didn't connect. They just didn't fit. You would see him trying to go up the huddle or whatever during pregame while the guys were warming up, and you just saw it there that he didn't feel like he was a part of it. Sure. Really, it didn't belong. He didn't belong. So I think there's something to that comes with younger coaches where they're just more in it and just become a part of the team, and that helps you selling what you're doing with the scheme and the guys buying into what you're trying to sell. So it's a mixture of that. Yeah, I appreciate the experience and the knowledge of the older coaches, but at the same time, there's something else that can be very beautiful about the youth and just being a lot more connected with the ages and the changes and adapting, and you not being so stuck in your own way.
You made two really good points. Like an older coach I've been coaching for 30 years. Linebacker in the 90s or early 2000s is nothing like linebacker now. Linebackers now are damn near like they're all safeties. They're all 220 some odd pounds.
Got to be able to cover.
Yeah.
You know, I'm watching Get Up with Rex Ryan talking about, well, what I would have done, man, you taught A-gap to A-gap linebackers, and now sideline to sideline linebacker is a thing now, you know? So you kind of have to think about it in that way, and think about the trend of the coaches that we've all been looking at. They're all like secondary passing game coordinator guys, right? And the league changes every 2.5 years. So yeah, coach, you may have been fantastic in 2003. You may have been in 2010. But look at how far passing has come now. Our RPOs came out 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. So if you don't know what to do with that, then you can't teach us what to do with this. Another fantastic point you made, and it just made me think about it. I was at camp. It's a very young, youthful, high energy coaching staff. Like they out there warming up and they shooting each other with water guns and stuff and slipping slides.
They surfing on air or whatever they were doing. Like it's just craziness.
They
like,
fake boxing each other. You can't be an old, dry, dusty coach and we out here shadow boxing and doing jumping jacks and stuff like that.
Because you're gonna be looking at them like, what are we doing?
What are we doing with all this nonsense? So the youth has to match on all levels.
Yep. All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, I do want to dive into some of these names and find out which of the names most intrigue you, and talk a little bit about like what you expect to see from here. Are there other names you'd like to see on this list? We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hey.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. As a Yeti ambassador and the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys, I proudly represent two of the toughest brands out there. My Yeti coolers are perfect for hot holding barbecue like smoked brisket and ribs, or keeping beer on ice on those hot game days. Customized with a Cowboys star, America's toughest coolers and drinkware are repping America's toughest team. Keep yourself in some good company and get your officially licensed Yeti Cowboys gear at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you. Because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united. If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Cowboys fans, here's the game plan. Touchdown Tuesday at Take 5 Oil Change. Just wear your Cowboys gear and save 25% on your oil change. No huddle, no overtime. Just drive in, stay in your car, and roll out. You'll be tailgate ready in 10 minutes flat. Keeping up with your car shouldn't be a tough call. Take 5 makes it as easy as calling the coin toss. Take 5 is the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit take5.com to find a location near you. Offer valid through December 31st, 2025. Terms and conditions apply. Valid only at participating locations.
Back to the break.
Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Welcome back. It is the second segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the start. The segment brought to you by blockchain.com. All right, let's talk about some other things on these coaches that they've interviewed. Let's talk about the fact that when you look at this, a lot of the guys they're looking at are guys who have been a part of some defenses that are the better defenses in the league over the last couple of years. I think you look at Banda, who is coming from Cleveland. Cleveland obviously has Myles Garrett. That goes a long way, right? Sure. But their defense has been a feared defense around the league. You got Durante Jones coming from Minnesota. Obviously, we saw firsthand what that defense can do and did a very nice job against the Cowboys, as we also saw with Jim Leonard, who comes from Denver.
Yeah.
And then you look at Zach Orr, who, although the Ravens defense was down this year, they've been a top 10 defense, and this year they had a lot of injuries. So you kind of give them a little bit of a pass on that one. I assume you would want to give them a little bit of a pass on that. But it looks like they're tapping into these defenses that are really good defenses and trying to find, they're not getting the defensive coordinator, they're getting the guy right under the defensive coordinator on those units and bringing them in to talk to them, and whether they're gleaning information or whether they're, these guys really end up being the candidate that they want. I think either way, it ultimately helps them. My question for you guys is, what name or names on this list of the 6 guys they've interviewed most stand out to you? Who's the guy that has piqued your interest, the guy you might want them to actually hire?
So let me just say this. I don't know them people. I'm real consistent on that. But me and you was having a conversation off air. And I hope this answers your question, by the way, or else people gonna think I'm taking the show over. If you look at how the coach that came from that defense, right? If you look at how that defense is set up, how would you take that and put it in Cowboy land? Like how would it work, right? So we started talking about Banda, like he comes from the Browns. Would he be able to have that same secondary type setup if we didn't have the talent like the Myles Garrett or really the whole damn front 7 over there in Cleveland? Is that a defense that's talent dependent? Because if that's a defense that's talent dependent, we got defensive tackles, but we don't have that same kind of pass rush that they have over there. So would that work?
4-man pass rush and a lot of
man pass rush, whooping feet, right? Yep. So me and Derek ended up talking about Broncos with Leonard and Jones with the Vikings. And it was interesting how we end up, finishing that conversation before we came back, Derek, is that if we look at how the Vikings do it, and those guys don't really have the big talent, but they're plug and play in that system, and that system works so well. As the Broncos, they got a bunch of guys that aren't really all pros neither, except for Surtain, but they've grown in that system. Like, they've developed and gotten better over time. So if you had to ask me, hey, Voch, would you want the Jim Leonard in which it sounds like you can bring him in and fix the Cowboy players around him, and maybe Maris Leofow turns into a guy because they teach so well, and that's something that Shotty talks about? Or would you bring in Jones from this Viking situation and maybe go, all right, we got to retool the whole defense, but we can plug and play your fourth corner? Like, Weezy works in this system because he's long, he can do this and he can do that. I think it's interesting. And I think I lean on the side of I want the teaching like Shotty wants, right? So I'm leaning towards Leonard just in that kind of way, that if you could take the dudes that we have right now and make those dudes better dudes, and they can be better even when you leave, and the next guy come in and, hey, you still develop Maris, you still turn Donovan Ezraku into a 16-sack guy, I can live with that.
Yep. And that's the thing I love about the Denver situation.
For sure.
Is because I know you say they got dudes, but a lot of their dudes now, if we go back a year ago, I don't know if anybody was talking about Benito like we're talking about him now, right? It's like they went in and they turned these guys that I think had talent into players.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping they can do here is you got some guys that got some talent on this team, especially the defensive tackle position.
Yeah.
Can you turn them into players? And can you turn the guys who maybe we are thinking, maybe this guy isn't that good? Can you make those guys actually be, that's a pretty good player right there? Yeah. I remember when Bill Parcells came in here, and one of the first things he said was, one of the first things we got to do is we got to sign Flozell Adams. And at the time, most people in the general public thought that were Cowboys fans or followed the Cowboys were like, man, y'all need to replace him. Like y'all need to replace Flozell Adams. He's not that good.
Yeah.
But Bill was like, this guy is a really, really good player. We need to get him signed, and we'll get him right. Sure. And after that was when he began that trajectory of really, really great left tackle that was holding things down on that left side. Sure. And I do think that coaches sometimes can take a guy that has talent that may not have been living up to that potential, which I think there are some of those guys on this defense. I don't think everybody, and Amber, you've been saying this all season, everybody on the defense couldn't have got bad at one time. All these guys weren't bad players over the last several years. So everybody didn't get bad at one time. Can you take those guys that last year had a bad year because of whatever reason and turn those guys into good players and turn the guys who are already good players into great players? That's what I want to see, and I think that's a little more of what I saw in Denver.
Riley Moss was not like that. The cornerback that's opposite of Pat Surtain in Denver. Riley Moss wasn't like that.
Yep.
In college, he wasn't like that. And look, man, there's some stereotypes going wrong. You ain't wrong for saying that about Riley Moss. Riley Moss was exactly that kind of guy. But teaching in that system, he works. So shouts out to Broncos and what they do. Go ahead, Amber. I'm sorry.
I think for me, my top candidate from this list is, and I agree with you guys, with Leonard. He brings a certain type of structure, or he would bring a certain type of structure that I think this defense needs. After seeing what we saw last year and guys looking a little bit lost at a lot of times. So he has the experience in the sense of like now he's proven what he can do in his position, and he's able to, or I think someone that's able to adapt to things, and that's something that you are looking for in a DC as well. But I wanted to ask you guys a different question, and I'll chime in too. I was doing some research just with different guys because it comes down to what exactly are you looking for in this person as far as like, okay, are we talking about best culture fit? Sure. Are we talking about leadership, long-term, high risk, high reward type of situation? What is the main quality that's the most valuable to you for this position?
The interesting thing is, before we answer that, Coach did answer this question in a press conference. He was asked about that, and he threw out three things that I thought were interesting. He said adaptable, fiery personality, and a teacher. And I thought that was a really interesting, those are three really interesting things that jumped out to me. And I will say for me, of those three, the one that I think is most important, in my opinion, is adaptable. And the reason why I say that is because we saw this year what happens when you're not adaptable. When you can't, as the season wears on, be able to truly evaluate what players are playing well, what players are not, and make adjustments.
Yeah.
What schemes are working well, what schemes are not, and make adjustments. Figure out every week who you're playing and how to best take advantage of them. I think one of the best jobs I've ever seen of this was Bill Belichick in New England for many, many years, and how his defense every single week would morph into a defense that would take away the best option that their opponent had on offense and force them to go to the second and the third options. And they won a lot of games doing that. And they could plug and play guys. They had a receiver that they plugged in at cornerback for a game because they had so many injuries and still made it work. Like they just had an adaptability to them that allowed them to be able to present all kinds of problems for opposing teams. So when you talk about all these three, at least for me, adaptability is number one.
I'm gonna keep it real simple on this first one. Just be better than the last guy. First and foremost, be much better than the last guy. I'm not even picky in that way. I don't care if it's if you're gonna be here for 2 years and go get a head coaching job somewhere else. Because if you get a head coach job somewhere else, you whooped ass here.
That means you had a good year.
You did your thing, player. Hopefully somebody else on the staff can coach just like you coach. I don't have a great deal of criteria here, but just the only thing I would say is that you're not going to be able to flip the entire defensive roster. You just can't. So what I want the next coach to be able to do is take dudes that are here already and just make them dudes better. That's just how we start. Because the big conversation that we've been having really is, was it coaching or was it the players? Okay, cool. Make the players better, and then we could talk about coaching. Because if you make the players better, then that's less roster spots that you have to fill up theoretically, right? Like all right, Maris, if you can play, then we ain't gotta look too hard at linebacker for real. We don't have to sign a linebacker for real. That's probably not gonna happen. I'm just making that example of all these players that played well. How did they play bad last year? So take the good dudes that we have, and hey, man, if you can make them good dudes even gooder, boy, shouts out to you. Or these players that maybe we didn't lean on very much, make them able to be leaned on. So, Shotty hit it right on the head with that one.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy about the teacher part of it, just because that's what I would expect your position coaches to do, rather than the ZC. It's still an important quality when you're trying to put everything together. But I'm with you, Derek, on the being able to adapt to what you have, and how can you make that better, or if something is not working, changing it up. But it's going to be really interesting. Real quick before we go to break, sorry, Derek, wanted to ask you your question on white cotton, because when that came up, and I don't know if you had it on your run.
Nah,
sorry. I was just like, I'm not trying. I want to give people the opportunity, but are you guys taking that as a serious, like, or is it just like, oh yeah, let's hear your feedback and all that? But are you taking that interview as a serious candidate for it?
They can ask White Kite whatever they want to ask him. They can ask White Kite, and they can be like, hey, look, bro, we're gonna hire Jim Leonard. Do you think you can learn his system? So just in case Jim Leonard goes somewhere else, you can step up and call plays in an emergency. You can ask White Kite anything. Hey, Aaron, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to Dirty Mac, and I won't count it against you as like a character remark. Dirty Mac, please. Hey, Aaron, we probably can't talk to you too much outside of this, but we brought you in to, hey, what's your plans? If we don't fire you right now, what's your plans to make our D-line better? Hypothetically, we not bringing back Clowney. He ain't coming back. Hypothetically, we're going to trade away Kenny Clark. Can you make Jay Toia good enough to, how would you do that? You can ask Aaron Whitecott anything. But to your point, I don't think Whitecott can be no damn defense coordinator here. But I think you can get valuable information from him. You can get valuable ideas from him.
Yeah, I'll say this, and I'm speaking now from the standpoint of how I look at just employment and teams in general.
You the boss, tell us why.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I would look at it as you always want to give a person who is in a position where it would be a step up for them the opportunity to, at the very least, give you something to think about. So I would give him that opportunity to say, okay, come in and interview with us, and I want you to lay out a plan for, number one, where you think we went wrong last year, how do we get better and improve going into next year.
Right.
And, you know, sometimes people can surprise you. I've seen it before where you do it because it's the right thing to do, to give them that opportunity. And then they get in the room and they give you some really, really, really good information about the direction that you need to go. And it intrigues you. And you're like, you know, if they have that ability and they really can do what they're saying they can do, this could be really interesting because it does keep a certain level of continuity of understanding what we do and how we do it as an organization. And so I wouldn't say it was just nothing. Now, do I think he's the favorite at this point in my mind to get the job? I don't. But you have to give him that opportunity, and I'm never going to discount the fact that he could have walked in that room and changed some opinions. By the way, the head coach here, similar situation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they sat down with Brian Schottenheimer last year thinking he's going to be our next head coach. I think they gave him an opportunity. They talked to him, and they were thoroughly impressed with the direction that he wanted to take things and what he thought he could bring to the table that would make their team better. And what we saw was, ended up being, I think, to this point, pretty good hire. Now, we'll see how it ends up being long term. I think so far, it's a pretty good hire. So I do think I wouldn't say it means nothing.
Sure.
I don't know that he's the favorite, but I wouldn't say it means nothing.
So it's like if you fire Ambar, right?
Why you gotta use me as an example?
And you just want to talk to Voch, right? Like, I don't even work here.
Voch don't speak Spanish.
I bet you Voch
No,
speaks
you don't.
Spanish. It ain't great, but I speak.
Right. We need
But
somebody that
you
knows.
brought in Voch. You say, man, Voch, if you had to make 5 ideas for a Dallas Cowboys D blue, what would you do?
You're on it.
And I give you the 5 best
you're coming for the
craziest,
deep blue.
the 5 best craziest ideas that we never even thought about for the D. And you go, man, I ain't never even think.
Show me your real.
Hey, you know what? Let me give you for all those people out there. For all those for
Watch Lombardi on YouTube. That's my real.
For all those people out there, I'm gonna give you a quick little secret. If you ever get into a position where you're coming to interview with me for a job, the best thing you could ever do is give me ideas that I've never thought of, even if they're not feasible, even if they're things we honestly can't do. It will always intrigue me if a person is a creative thinker in any business. I don't care what the business line. If you are a creative thinker, you will be better at your job because you can at least come up with ideas everybody else doesn't come up with. So again, taking it back to
all your stuff will be shut down because it's like, oh, well, this or the player's not this or that or we gotta.
Look, it'll be hard to accomplish. But I love the thinking, right? And I think that again goes back to my point here. I think there is a way that Aaron Whitecotton could get that job. Now, he would have to do a lot in that interview, but I wouldn't discount that and say he's not capable of that. I just think, you have to give him the opportunity, and what he does with that opportunity will ultimately decide whether he gets the job or not.
I would love to just interview to work here because I don't work here, but I would love to just interview to work here. I'm gonna throw my little suit on. I'm just gonna pop up with some ideas.
That's another important thing. How you present yourself matters.
Man, come on, man. Voch Lombardi come up here with these. Man, y'all know. Hey, man, go ahead, take a break, man.
All right, we're gonna take our final
Take a break.
We'll come back. I do have a couple questions for you guys on just the end of season press conference that happened last week. We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown! Yes!
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Back to the break.
AT&T connecting changes everything.
Welcome back. We're in the final segment of the break. We only got a few more minutes here, but I did want to hit at least one topic. We'll carry some of these over to next week, but I did want to hit one topic from the end-of-season presser. Stephen Jones indicated in that press conference that he expected that the 2 first-round picks would likely go on the defensive side of the ball, unless, of course, a CeeDee Lamb type situation was presented to them similar to what happened in 2020. Here's the question I have for you guys. Would you be seeing what a premium they're placing on those 2 first-round picks and understand right now it's at 12, well, it'll be at 12 and 20. Good. I mean, you got 2 picks in the top 20. That's a lot. Sure. Would you be willing to sacrifice one of those picks for the purposes of going out, and we don't have to say names, but for the purposes of going out and getting a really, really high-value free agent that maybe you would trade for?
I promise I'm not going to say his name, but they can have them damn picks. I don't even want to draft. I don't have to be here. You go get that dude. I want to say his name so bad. Go get the guy. And look, if he's a disgruntled player, right? If he's a disgruntled player at the team that he don't want to be there no more, I'd imagine he might be a little cheaper, you know what I'm saying? Because when players fall out of favor, they end up, that's why, Trey Diggs just kind of can just leave or whatever, right? But if I call that team and say, hey, I got the 20th overall pick, and I'm assuming that this is a bad team, you trying to rebuild your roster. I got the 20th overall pick, and this pick is even more valuable on draft day.
Would you be willing to give up that 12?
For that guy, they could take 12.
So there are players in the league you'd be like, I'm giving up a 12 that 12 pick. I mean, you give up that, and because you're gonna probably give up more than that. Sure. You're probably gonna have to give up that, and maybe next year's 1, maybe next year's 2 or 3. What would you be willing to do in order to get a high value free agent at a position of need?
Hypothetically, I think one of the better players. There are many players that you can go get in free agency trade or whatever. I think pass rush is what you need the most. I would spend that on a pass rusher. And thinking about where Cowboys are drafting at 12, I could say these names. Ruben Bain probably won't be there. He's one of the best pass rushers in the draft. David Bailey, pass rusher from Texas Tech, he probably won't be there for you. So when the Cowboys are drafting at 12, the best pass rusher won't be there. But you'll still need pass rusher. So instead of going, I could go linebacker here, I could go corners there, I could take that 12th overall pick and hypothetically get one of the best pass rushers in the league. Take 12. Take 12. Damn 12. I don't care nothing about 12. And if I get to keep 20, then fine. I'll just go draft something else at 20. But I think the dude that you could possibly get that'll require a 12th overall pick, I think that dude changes everything. And he makes, allegedly, if it's a pass rush, he make the rest of your pass rushers better. He make your corners better. He make your linebackers better.
He'll probably be the most influential person in developing Donovan Ezeraku.
He's probably a leader, more than likely, and Jim Leonard will be smiling real big if you bring a player like that. Because if it's the player that we can all just assume you traded away from Micah Parsons, right? So now you take a guy that's that caliber dude, maybe not as much as a pass rush, but right under there, and he's definitely a better run defender than just a total complete dude. You can have 12 because ain't no total complete dudes, especially in this short window, right? Yeah. If we're some other team, then maybe you're drafting for the future, the next 5, 6, 7 years. This Dak window might be 3 years.
Yeah.
So I'll take the
his
old
contract.
man.
What, 2-3 years left?
Dak gonna be here as long as the Cowboys want. As long as he's elite, he gonna be here. I think the Joneses have enough sense to keep him. I'm saying 3 more elite years of Dak Prescott in his super quarterback prime. Go get the best possible dude. I don't care that dude is allegedly there's a top tier pass rusher that's a couple months older than Micah Parsons. That dude ain't even that old. So please go get that guy for 12th overall. I don't care.
See, this is where.
Look at that smile, because you know who we talking about.
I find it very interesting because I'm at a point where I can't fully get in the Cowboys' shoes. Like, we're used to know how they think most of the time.
Because they're doing things that they haven't done before.
Exactly. So this past year, they have started doing things that we haven't seen them do. So I'm curious to see, okay, because we know the past would be like, there's no way.
We like our guys.
No way. Yeah. They're going to keep those draft picks. They're going to pick and don't even think about making a trade. That's not going to happen. And now I'm like, well, you know what?
Quentin.
Could it actually happen?
Quentin.
Could it actually
It changed
happen?
everything. It changed
Yeah.
how we view it. Yeah.
So that's where I find it very exciting in that sense. Maybe they do something that we are not expecting, but I'm all for experience. Yes, there's a lot of value in younger players. I've seen it. I've enjoyed it. But where has that gotten me? Nowhere. Being mad during this time of the year because I am not a step closer to the Super Bowl where I want to go to one day, especially this year. And I missed it because Bad Bunny's going to be there and I'm not going to be there. Anyways.
What's going on?
The point
Hey,
here
man, I've been listening to this since they announced Bad Bunny was going to be there. But go ahead. Sorry.
But
what he's saying?
I value a lot more experience now rather than drafting a player, developing the player, and some of these in the first round, they come ready and they're very like an immediate impact. But I want someone with experience. I want someone that has done it before. I want someone to be that leader in that group. I want someone to just be ready to go. So to your question, would I give up? Yes, but again, I'm not a big draft person in general. I'm not holding dear and tied to those draft picks. I'm like, whatever. Sure. Give me someone with experience and bring them here. However, I don't know how I feel with what position I am most interested in right now.
Sure, that's fair.
Because yes, you can see the value at the defensive line. That's where it all starts, and it has a triple effect. It's going to help everybody else behind them. But there are so many key positions that are needed in this team right now that I'm like, I don't know what I hold the most value at. A defensive line, linebacker, cornerback. I don't know where I'm at currently, but yes, I would trade.
Amber,
you just teed up. Oh, go ahead.
One day we're going to do some draft content for Somos. You're going to translate for me. And I'm going to talk about picks that are nowhere near that dude that you could possibly go get. Like, that dude is a dude that you drop everything and you go get that guy. And I've been looking at the draft. I'm about 70 guys in or whatever. And you can't even pick me. And even the best guy in the draft that the Cowboys have no shot to draft, give me that miscellaneous disgruntled character and they can have 12.
By the way, that's also that's where I'm at with this team right now. If I were the Joneses, I'd be willing to sell out right now. And that means I am sacrificing what may happen 3 years from now for today.
It don't even matter.
I'm like, as you said before, I have a quarterback who I think is in his prime, and I want to maximize that window. So for me, I'm like, if you can give me a guy, by the way, if you go and get those drafted players, you may have to develop them. They may take a year. They may take 2 years, whatever the case might be. I need a guy that the moment he walks in the door, I'm like a Quentin Williams. The moment he walks in the door, things change. Like, I'm like, ooh, I see it already. Like, I don't need to let him develop. I see it right now. And I'm at that point right now where I'm just like, I want to see. And my hope is that what we've seen with them making that move with Quentin Williams, quite frankly, what they did with Micah. Like, they are being, in my opinion, those are aggressive type, moves. And I want to see more of those types of aggressive moves because I just want to maximize these years I got with Dak, because once he's gone, then who knows where you're going to be at the quarterback position. So it doesn't matter anyway. Worry about right now. Worry about the next 2 years and try to do whatever you can to get yourself back in the championship game in the next 2 years.
The Rams sold out for everything, put themselves in cap hell, got dudes, and they may have had one bad year. And they got right back on it and it was right back in.
I think that's where the NFL is going now, too. If you start thinking about these teams are starting to say, okay, we're going to have some great years, and we're willing to take that dip for a year or two and then rebuild it. Like, it's the length on it as it stands is not what it once was, where you're trying to build for the future. I just don't know if that's the NFL anymore. I really don't.
Another thing real quick. I know we are way past
Amber, I love working today.
Super quick is the fact that when we see the history in drafting on defense, other than Micah, there's not a good track record there for the Cowboys. Recent years. So that's another caveat there where it's like, I'd rather take someone that has himself proven already rather than take the chance and experience with somebody else.
The one other caveat I'll throw into that is also look at where those picks are. The defensive guys that they've drafted have been later first-round picks.
Yeah.
The ones that have hit on the offensive side of the ball have been earlier first-round picks, except for Micah, right? And that's the one that works. So, again, that 12th pick, that's a pick that the Cowboys have traditionally done really well with no matter where they're drafted, like what the player is, what side of the ball he's on. They've typically done pretty well with those. It's once they get into the 20s that it's kind of hit or miss. So that 12th pick is very, very valuable. If they're going to trade it, they better get a guy that's a guy. Like, you better go get a guy if you're going to give up that 12th pick. All right. Appreciate you guys, Jones. We'll be back next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the things that came out of the end-of-season press conference. We'll also start talking a little bit about looking forward and now thinking about what the Cowboys have to do with free agency, what they have to do with the draft. We'll start getting into some of those conversations. We'll be back, Dallas Cowboys. until next week, Voch Lombardi, Ambar Garcia. This is Derek Eagleton live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
I ain't coming back nowhere.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!